What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning into the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over the social sphere. GBP Daily. Shoot me a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Hit me up in the DMs. I am always available to talk Packers anytime, any day. And today is Friday, January 16th. Almost an entire week down, off-season edition. How's everybody doing? Everybody still a little heartbroken over last weekend, or has it worn? I will say, I was not, unfortunately, surprised on the collapse that we had because we saw that same exact movie a few weeks prior against the same team. We saw it against the Browns. We sort of saw it against, and we even saw our defense get mowed up and down the field against Dallas earlier in the year. So as heartbreaking as it was for other folks, it honestly wasn't too shocking for me. And of course, there's nothing else I would rather be doing this weekend than watching the Packers play, right? And we would be playing against the Seahawks. And I'm not sure if you've seen, but Sam Darnold is dealing with an injury issue. We would be playing, but we would have possibly played against either an injured Sam Darnold or the backup. His name is slipping my mind, with a chance to go to the NFC title game. But yeah, for me, it was bittersweet once the season ended. This past year has been such an odd season. We never really got into a rhythm, whether that was on offense. Defense early on was okay, sort of a rhythm here and there. This past year was just so odd. Guys were missing time left and right, whether that was Jordan Love, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Brandon McManus, and then the obvious season-ending injuries to Elton, Micah, Tucker Kraft, Devontae Wyatt, just to name a few. Bo Melton, Zane Anderson later in the year, Nate Hobbs later in the year, just a never. Dontavian Wicks with a concussion, missed the rest of the season. It was just a brutal season. And to end it on a 5-game losing streak, I sort of came to the realization that the team that we had at the end of the year just was not a good enough team to run with the big dogs in the playoffs. Simple as that. So, all right, enough of that. What else is going on? Oh, the Packers at LaFleur are currently reportedly working out a contract extension. And the longer that is taking, the more speculation about what could possibly be holding up the agreement. I haven't seen any facts reported on what's actually happening, so I won't be diving into any of that other than, yes, they are reportedly trying to come to an agreement on a contract extension, and I do still believe that Matt will be our coach for the foreseeable future, which I am A-okay with. What else we got? Anybody planning to go to maybe a Bucs game this winter? No, it's a rough time to ask. What about a Brewers game this upcoming summer? Badger basketball, possibly? If so, do not buy your tickets anywhere else other than TickPick. They guarantee the cheapest tickets on the market. And if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will refund you 110% of your money back. Same tickets as everybody else. StubHub, SeatGeek, Ticketmaster, all those guys, and TickPick is the cheapest every single time. Shout out to TickPick. They are the best in the biz. Let's hop into the comment section here, shall we? And as always, if you want to be a part of the show, give me a call on the Nicolet Law hotline, 319-242-2332, the Midwest personal injury law firm that actually shows up when you need them. If you've been hurt in a crash, fall, or another accident, the last thing you want to deal with is the insurance companies and the paperwork. Nicolet Law takes that off your plate so you can focus on healing up. They walk you through your options. They handle the insurance companies and fight to get you what is fair. No upfront fees, no guesswork, just local attorneys who have your back. Call 1-800-NICOLET or visit nicolet.com. What do we got cooking up in the chat? How is everybody doing? Heartbroken from last weekend? As I talked about earlier, the loss sucked, of course, right? But I wasn't heartbroken. We just saw that same movie, right, against the same team a few weeks back. Was not surprised, as sad as that is to say. So, and as you were watching the game, you saw the tide turning and rolling into the direction of a collapse, which is just sad to say. But yeah, all in all, I wasn't too heartbroken. Stinks that the season is over, and the possibility of playing a Seahawks team with a banged up Sam Darnold would have been awesome this weekend with a chance to go to the game. But instead, we will have to root for the Rams, right? They're playing the Bears Sunday night. I'm a big Rams fan come Sunday. And yeah, we'll be watching from the couch, right? So, my man Phil in the house. Does Coach Rich have some secret information looming over the Packers? Time to cut him like your hair. Phil, I've seen your pictures recently, and I think you're due for a little bit of a cut, huh? What are you thinking? I'd seen you had posted about, should I get a haircut? Should I not? Time for it to come off? I don't know. I think it looks good, Law. But as far as Rich Bisaccia, I am shocked that, yeah, he is still employed, which I had heard John Kuhn talk about the other day, that he expects Rich Bisaccia to be the special teams coordinator next season, which is just insane with how terrible our special teams unit has been really since I've been born, and especially over the last 3-4 years. It has just been catastrophically bad. We saw it on Saturday night against the Bears. Brandon McManus missing 2 field goals and an extra point in the playoffs. And we gave up a couple big punt returns, mostly due to Zane Anderson and Bo Melton being out. Yeah, it's just every week it seemed like we had a special teams woes, whether it was, the opening kickoff, right? We had a penalty. Just stuff you don't see when you watch other NFL games, at least from my perspective. So I'm surprised he's still on the squad. John Kuhn said he expects him to be back next year. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Nothing would make me happier than to move on from him and get somebody else. And it's, and that's just strictly the Packers related side of things, right? You never want to, root for someone to get fired or anything like that, right? The family and Rich, they got to move and do all this stuff. It's, it's a tough business, but it is a results-driven business, and the results have been either dead last in the NFL or bottom 5, which anybody that is dead last at their work or in any sort of profession probably should no longer be in that position, at least from my perspective. So, Phil, I'm with you. He must have some sort of secret information over the Packers, over Brian Gutekunst, over Matt LaFleur, because, yeah, he's still employed, even though he's trotting out the worst or the bottom 5 or not. So thank you, Phil. Appreciate you as always. Haley, what are you filling the void with since there is no more Packer football? Nothing specific, really. Maybe hanging out with the family, I'd say, but we always watch the games together anyway, so maybe being more attentive. Well, we've been tuning into some football here and there. Nothing too crazy. I'm admittedly a little burnt out on football, and I know in a month when there is no football on, I'll wish that we had something to watch. But this season took a lot out of me, and I don't know. I'm rooting for the Bills. The rest of the postseason, I wouldn't mind if they won it all, of course, right, for the first time. I wouldn't mind if the 49ers won it all. Is that an unpopular opinion? I'm sure it is, but I've never really disliked the 49ers for whatever reason. Hopefully the Bills can get there, though, and win it. Anybody but the Bears. So hopefully the Bears can get their stuff rocked this weekend. So big Rams fan this Sunday night. So I can't remember the last time that the Bears made it farther than the Packers in the playoffs. We're probably going back to the 2008 year when they made the Super Bowl. So yeah, big time Rams fan this weekend for sure. Thank you, Haley, for hopping in. Appreciate you as always. What else we got? Give me your 4 keeps as far as free agency. Phil, that's a good one. Romeo Dobbs, I'm letting walk. Quay Walker, keep. Carrington Valentine, keep. Rashawn Gary, I see a cut Rashawn Gary in the chat. Yeah, I hope that's the case. Who else we got? Those are my really only ones I'm dead set on. I want Quay to stay. And Carrington's cheap. I know he wasn't very good this year. He's a good cornerback 4, 3 or 4. But Quay for sure. And Romeo, I'm letting walk. I loved watching Romeo play, right? Just I don't see the Packers bringing him back. So that's my answer, Phil. King AJ in the house. Yep, we were just talking about this a little earlier. Thoughts on John Coos saying the locker room stands behind Rich. This offseason, we definitely need to address O-line, cornerback, D-line, kicker, and returner. Can't have starters risking injury on special teams unless it's Nixon. The whole starters on special teams thing, that's never been the Packers' MO, right? The whole starters on special teams thing has never been the Packers' MO, and that's partly the reason why our special teams aren't as good as teams that put starters in for special teams, right? And so unless it's Nixon, I think Nixon should be primarily a kick returner, a punt returner, and a cornerback second, because we saw what happened when he was cornerback first. It was not good. After seeing some clips of Keyshawn and obviously watching him this year, I know he's out there trying his best for the most part, but there are clips out there that test that he's not giving it his all, which you just got to are not playing 100% NFL. You are to play 100%, and if 100%, then not holding up your end of the bargain. And specifically play against DeAndre Swift. Originally, I had tweeted out the video, and it was a little hard to tell, whether Swift was in the end zone or not, or if Nixon saw him in time. But the All-22 shows that, yeah, he clearly had seen him about 3-4 yards out of the end zone, just kind of stood there and then hopped out of the way. So I think FanDuel or whoever, whatever, they need to check into Keyshawn Nixon, his close friends, because it sure looked like he just let him walk into the end zone, which is just ridiculous. So, King AJ, thoughts on John Kuhn stands behind Rich? I'm shocked, honestly. I don't know how you can stand behind a coach who's not doing a good job. And you got to remember, he is not only the special teams coordinator, he is also the assistant head coach. So he brings more to the Packers than just being the special teams coordinator. He's also the assistant head coach. I'm sure he has a pretty loud voice when it comes to pre- and post-game speeches and whatnot after Matt LaFleur, obviously. So I'm surprised, but then again, not surprised, right? The Packers have not prioritized special teams in a long time, and unless they start to, we are going to have the same results year in and year out. Thank you, King AJ. Appreciate you for hopping in. Hope you have yourself a great Friday. Caleb, too early to start talking about draft needs? Well, my man King AJ was just throwing it all out there. I don't think so. It is the offseason, right? And outside of free agency, which I don't think will be huge players in because of our cap situation, I am always down for some draft talk. Although I am not a huge draft guy, I don't dig into the prospects as, in depth as other content creators. The needs, I think, are pretty glaring. Cornerback for starters, defensive lineman, backup quarterback, because Malik's going to be gone, kicker, whether you do that through the draft or free agency or whatever you do, you've got to make a change. I'm sick of McManus missing 2 kicks, missing an extra point in a playoff game. Inexcusable. We'll see what happens with Keyshawn Nixon, whether he stays or not, and Carrington Valentine. But Nate Hobbs could very well be the only guy returning in that cornerback playing time this year, which is fine by me. Carrington maybe, since he's so cheap, but to plan on bringing Carrington back as a starter would be a mistake in my opinion. So, to recap, cornerback, offensive line, and with Malik being gone, we'll have to find a new backup quarterback. And it sucks to say, but backup quarterback has been a very important position for us with the amount of time that Jordan has missed. That's where I'm at. So thank you, Caleb. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Tuning in. Always love talking Packers with you guys. Hit me up on social media at GBP Daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The button's right there. It's free. It really helps me out. Any interaction helps myself and helps the page. I will be back and at it again on Monday. So thank you again for tuning in. Have yourself a great Friday. Have yourself a great weekend. Go Rams, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.